Hi, I'm Rob Wright, Senior Editor at CRN, and I'm here with my colleague, Editor News of CRN, Steve Burke. We're here to talk a little bit about the recent news with Intel. Steve, they settled a major case with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission recently, and it looks like it's going to have some wide-reaching effects. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. It's a 10-year consent decree as part of the settlement with the FTC. There are broad sweeping restrictions on Intel, and it's a game changer for the technology industry. Number one, because it prevents Intel from paying system builders or major computer makers like Dell from being exclusive and buying only Intel processors or chips. Not only that, it prevents Intel from not paying these same vendors, Dell or any of the other major PC makers or notebook makers, for not using AMD's chips or even chips or products from other rival vendors. So there's a big impact here. The interesting thing is it comes only several weeks after the Securities and Exchange Commission settled a lawsuit with Dell that had detailed billions of dollars, more than $1 billion, that Intel had paid Dell to use only Intel processors. So a really big deal, a real big game changer for the industry. I think you're going to see a lot of vendors start looking more carefully at how they use rebates and develop contracts, whether it's with the channel solution providers or with PC makers. There's some real big implications here, and I think the shock waves are going to be felt for some time.
Now, Intel, if I read this correctly, did not admit to any wrongdoing. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right.
So they basically they're settling with the FTC. I believe they're paying an undisclosed fine as part of the settlement. But you know, like the AMD case, they're not saying, "Hey, we broke the law," or they're admitting no wrongdoing. So this is kind of a good deal for them.
Well, absolutely, and the big question here, especially for PC makers and in particular for system builders, the question is, especially, you know, the system builders, the smaller guys who are competing against Dell, which had gotten the benefit of this more than $1 billion of cash that Intel threw to Dell to be quote-unquote exclusive to Intel over many years from 2003 to 2007. There was a lot of cash thrown to Dell. A lot of system builders went out of business. So the question becomes, is it too late? Is it a day late and a dollar short for the Federal Trade Commission? You know, Intel's happy to settle this case, I think at this point, with just a not admitting any guilt, not admitting to the charges, and agreeing to these consent decree restrictions. The question is, will the consent decree have the bite? Will they have the enforcement to really police this? And when you're talking about exclusive deals or not paying, computer makers or other vendors to use exclusively Intel products, remember there's a lot of subtlety to this. So, you know, there's a lot of winks and nods within the business, because there certainly are a lot of exclusive deals.
So what do system builders feel about this decision? Are they happy? For the ones that you've read and the ones that you've talked to, do they seem like they feel like this is the right decision, or does it feel like maybe it's a toothless endeavor on the government's part to kind of resolve this issue?
I think the system builders are happy that there's been an agreement here and that this thing has been put on the table. I think this whole system builder community deserves more support from both Intel and AMD. I think the industry is a stronger, a more vibrant, a richer industry when you have a healthy system builder channel. One of the problems with the whole notebook market, and I know Intel has tried to address this many times, is there really hasn't been a strong system builder channel within the notebook segment. I think we need more more help from Intel and AMD to really build up this system builder channel again, because when that system builder channel was more rich and more vibrant, you saw more differentiation, you saw better products, you saw real exciting hot products for gamers. All the innovation, I think a lot of the innovation and a good deal of the innovation was coming from the system builders.
Yeah,
and hopefully we'll get some of that innovation back now. But again, the question becomes, but the horse has been let out of the barn. Is it too late? I don't think it's too late. I think Intel and AMD have to step up and support this system builder community with richer and more vibrant programs. I think it's ironic that the settlement came down the very week that Intel was doing its Channel Alliance Summit. And, you know, if you look at that Channel Alliance Summit, you know, there were, that summit was a lot bigger probably 10 years ago.
Interesting. Well, you know, I think that this, like you said, will enable Intel to kind of address bigger issues and put this behind it. And hopefully, you're right, hopefully they will start to do more for the system builder channel along with AMD, and we'll have a little bit more a level playing field between the two giants in the chip field. I mean, AMD obviously has been doing quite well lately with their GPUs and some of their new CPUs, but it'll be good if we can get back to business in that regard. So
absolutely, it's a big case for the system builder channel for computer makers. You can bet that we here at CRN are going to be watching this as this consent decree unfolds. We're going to be staying on top of it and watching this closely. So stay tuned. You'll get the latest and greatest right here at CRN.com on the Intel-FTC settlement and its continuing reverberations through the channel.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Rob.